Joe Fitzsimons is founder and CEO at Horizon Quantum Computing. He joins us now not live here at the SGX. And joining us from Hong Kong is my great colleague, Sherry Kang. She's also going to be part of this conversation. Joe, great to see you. Welcome. And I guess congratulations are in order. Give us a sense, timing, when is this going to hit the market?
Thanks very much for having me.
Pleasure.
First of all, I should say, for those that don't know Horizon, what we do is we build the software infrastructure for quantum computing. So we're building the programming languages, the compilers, the runtime environment, and now we're starting to see the elements of a quantum operating system emerge. So you can kind of think of our role as something like Microsoft is for PCs or VMware is for the data center. Wow. We're expecting to reach a definitive agreement within Q2, so we're working towards that at the moment. Of course, the letter of intent is non-binding, but we're both committed to making this work.
So this would hit the market in 2025, is what you're saying?
We're hoping that it will be 2025.
Yeah. Okay, Sherry, come in on this.
Yeah, just wonder, before we get into what is exactly quantum computing, Joe, why did you decide to go this SPAC route? Why not traditional IPO?
That's a great question. And I mean, you should really, first of all, we need to take a step back and have a look at, what the potential of quantum computing is. So the potential of quantum computing is essentially to be computing all over again. But there's a difference as things are happening now compared to how they happened the first time with the first wave of computers. Now, the economic impact of computers has been enormous. If you look at the world economy over the last 150 years, about 75 years ago, right when the first commercial computers were sold, it started growing at twice the rate it had for the previous 75 years and has sustained that up to today. And sure, computers aren't the only part of that, but they're a significant part of it. And so we believe there's a potential for quantum computing to be exactly the same again, to have the sustained step change effect. Why we decided to go now is because we're at a point in the field, quantum computing is, as a whole, it's at an inflection point. We've known how to build quantum computers in principle, we've known how to mitigate errors in principle, and we've known what we could do with them, at least some of the tasks, for almost 30 years at this point. However, actually doing that in practice has been a challenge. And right now we're starting to hit milestones on a number of points. We're seeing it with the first demonstration of true error correction late last year from Google. We're also seeing it with technologies like neutral atoms that are rapidly maturing. And even with us, from our own work, we're starting to see the elements of a real operating system emerge. So we're starting to see technologies like dynamic memory allocation that previously haven't existed come into effect in quantum computing. And that really means we're at this inflection point. However, if you look at quantum computing as a whole in terms of what's important now is still technology development, and it's winning the race to getting to real quantum advantage, to getting to a point where quantum computers are creating real value, where they're solving some of the world's toughest problems.
Right, and did you feel like the investor community needed more education about what quantum computing can do, and perhaps that can explain why you decided to go the SPAC route? Am I making any sense?
Sure, of course. I mean, I would say if we had waited to go the traditional IPO route, that would be a little further off for us, I would say. The path we've taken is basically because right now is the time to accelerate. We're getting to this point where winners and losers will start to emerge within the space, and we are going to make sure that we are a winner in that space. It's also fortuitous timing. We're really delighted to work with the MY Squared. Harry Yu has tremendous experience in enterprise hardware and software, as well as having already led one of the most successful SPACs in the space, bringing IonQ public.
Joe, I got to ask you here, in the quantum computing space, right, you've got a lot of younger and sort of pure play companies. Not a lot of them are making money. I think very few are, right? It's pretty rare for them to be actually profitable. What about your shop? How close are you to profitability? Any sort of clarity on a path?
Oh, I think it's a mistake to make that the metric today. And the reason I think of this, the reason I say it this way, is because right now quantum computers are not yet useful. It's starting to come into view, that milestone, but the technology has not yet reached a point where it's solving hard problems better than conventional computers could. And that is a necessary requirement to actually create value for the end user. So if you're looking at banks, if you're looking at pharma, all of these use applications, really, we need slightly better quantum computers than we currently have, and we need a much better software stack.
So here's, I think, the crux of the matter, right? You've got guys like Jensen Huang, you know, the boss over at NVIDIA, saying, look, when quantum computers become really useful, that's decades away. Then you've got companies like D-Wave saying, hey, we've got a backlog of customers going back I don't know how long. Who's right?
I would say in this instance, I don't fully agree with either. The best synthesis of current expert opinion in the space, in my view, is a report that's written each year for the Global Risk Institute. I'm one of the respondents to it, but they ask about 50 experts in the field for timelines to a quantum computer that could break encryption on the RSA 2048, which is a widely used standard on the internet. The timelines that emerge from that, if you look at when the kind of median expert opinion switches from thinking it's less likely than not to more likely than not, that's in the 10 to 15 year range. However, that's for breaking RSA 2048, which is quite a hard problem. The first commercial applications are expected sooner. So if you look at, actually as part of that survey, respondents are also asked when they think the first commercial applications are going to occur, and the crossover for that is in the 3 to 5 year window.
Okay.
So what I would say is you can think of these questions, the responses you're getting from Jensen Huang and from D-Wave, and the real question is whether they agree on what the endpoint is, whether they're talking about the same state of quantum computing, and I think perhaps they're not.
Ah, okay, got it.
You know, Joe, just watching how AI is playing out for businesses, should businesses begin preparing for quantum computing's impact, and what can they do at this point in time? And how crucial is the role of quantum computing chips?
So I would say, let me start with the role of quantum computing chips. If we don't have quantum computing hardware, then we are nowhere. But we do also need the software stack to make use of that hardware. The way quantum computers work is fundamentally different from the way conventional computers work. So you can't run quantum software on conventional computers. Maybe you can simulate a small quantum computer with a GPU, but that's only a very modest processor. And we've already gone way beyond that size in terms of the chips that companies like Google and IBM are producing.
All right, Joe, listen, we got to go. It's been a lot of fun talking to you. Appreciate the time. Come back to see us again very soon. Thank you for this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Pleasure is ours. Joe Fitzsimons, your CEO, Horizon Quantum Computing.